News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Chris Crock Show. All right, in just a few, I have the 10 most offensive things you can do at a restaurant from a brand new survey. But first, the rules for the debate have finally been released, like the official ones, not just here and there and not rumored ones, but actually we have the official list. The debate is now a week and 2 days, a week and 3 days from today. It's going to be Thursday, a week from Thursday, okay? So in Atlanta, by Fake News CNN, and Jake Tapper and Dana Bash are going to do it. 90-minute, 2 commercial breaks. Campaign staff may not talk to them during that time. Both candidates agree to appear in a uniform podium. I guess it's a sitting podium. Positions determined by a coin flip. Microphones will be muted throughout the debate except when it's a candidate's turn to speak. No props or pre-written notes will be allowed on the stage. Candidates will be given a pen, a pad of paper, and a bottle of water, and there will be no studio audience. Last but not least, they will have no opening statements. There will be 2-minute closing statements for each candidate, and of course 2-minute answer, shot clock, 1 minute for rebuttals. And the questions on this are, do you think these conditions are favorable to Trump or Biden? And what would your advice be for President Trump on this debate? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Tom in Frisco, thanks for holding, brother. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for taking the call. And
you're welcome.
Appreciate your show.
Thank you.
2 things, I think, 3 things. One, real quickly, is the reason they're going to have him sitting is probably they'll have a buzzer underneath that they can buzz him every once in a while, just make sure he's awake.
Like a little electroshock therapy, like something at the chiropractor's office that's a little zing, but it won't hurt him and make him go, oh!
Yep, wake him up.
Yes.
Okay, the other is, I think, regardless of what the question is, Trump ought to bring up 4 years ago. He should say something like, I agree to these debates, but sometimes I wonder why. Because 4 years ago, Joe Biden stood up here, and his FBI knew that Hunter's laptop was not Russian disinformation, yet he was allowed to say that it was Russian disinformation. That alone skewed the election.
17% of the voters said they would have voted differently if they would have known the laptop was real. That was about a poll done. That poll was done about a month or two after the election.
Yeah. Now, I think you should follow that up with, we've also all seen those pictures of Hunter exiting Air Force One with you in places like Russia, Ukraine, China. What was he doing on those flights?
Right.
You say you never talked to him about his business dealings. Yeah, we've all known that that's not quite right. So what did you lie about as far as, or why did you lie about not having, known what he was doing? Did you think he was there to find new sources for dope or women or something?
Exactly. Things like, why was he there with you? Why'd you let him go? The laptop you sat here and told us it was a bunch of garbage, and the 51 former intelligence officers said that the laptop was Russian disinformation, and yet it was your campaign that put that letter together. That it was Tony Blinken that put that letter together and then recruited the 51 intelligence people to sign the document you created. You knew you were lying. You created that document, and then you pointed to it, which is a classic intelligence trick, that a PSYOP that's done. So, Joe, will you finally admit the laptop is real since your Justice Department used it in the trial against your son Hunter in the recent case, and they've authenticated it, your own Justice Department? So will you apologize to me and to the country for lying about that when you made that lie up together from the beginning? Something like that. Yeah. Now, of course, it's they can't go back and forth, but he can say that I have questions for Joe that I'd like to start this out with, and just go boom, 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 boom. There's a way he'll work it in there. Tom, I appreciate your call. Let's go to Kevin in North Richland Hills. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP.
Hey, Guy.
Hey.
What happened to the drug testing? I haven't heard anybody talk about that. And not just that, is why isn't there an audience in there? This is the first time in the debates there's no audience. I don't understand this.
Okay, the drug testing, I don't know if Trump asked for it. I know he wants it, but I don't know if he asked for it, so I can't speak to that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as far as, and maybe he did bring it up, they said no. We might learn about that soon, what was asked about, what wasn't. But I think he also wants to play, I think Trump wants to play this as by the book as possible so he can just come in and whoop his butt, because this is about winning and not about playing a game and not about hurting your chances. The other thing is, there was another thing that I was going to say, and that is, because your question again was, what about the live audience? Trump will perform well. He works the crowd and he feeds off the crowd, and Biden knows that, and Biden doesn't want that. So that's why it was a Biden thing. And Trump may have made a mistake by saying I'll agree to anything, anytime, anywhere.
What about the earpieces?
The earpieces, there's no way they're going to allow an earpiece for somebody to communicate with them. And if there's anything in Joe Biden's ear and it's not a hearing aid, I think that's going to be over with. I don't think he wears hearing aids from anything I understand. So if there is an earpiece, it'll be called out and taken out, I'm sure.
Well, I hope so. You know how conniving the left is, and the moderators are on that end, and that just upsets me to no end that they don't have a one on from the left and one from the right.
Yeah. Well, it's because he agreed to do whatever Biden wanted to. So
okay.
You might get something in one of the next two debates. I don't know, but I doubt it, because it's going to be rigged towards Biden. But Trump wants to have the debates, and maybe it's to his disadvantage that he's too eager to do this. But I don't know. Actually, there's only two debates I think they've agreed to so far. I appreciate your call, Kevin. And I still feel confident going into this. I think if Trump, the muting may actually totally redound to the benefit of Trump, because Trump cannot say dumb things to mess this up or rudely interrupt him to mess it up. It forces him to be disciplined, and it forces Joe to talk for 2 minutes and fall over himself and try to explain himself, and they go, anyways, and just sit there. That'll be interesting to watch. It's going to be really interesting. He'll be good. He'll be juiced up. I actually had this weird feeling, as I mentioned earlier, when I was getting in my car today to come to work. I actually had this weird feeling that the doctors are going to juice him up a little too much on amphetamines or whatever it is that gives him that focus. All right, we want to put Paul in from Midlothian now real fast? Okay, Paul from Midlothian, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, hey, I think the reason why they're not going to use an audience in that is because the media intends to doctor everything up with AI, and edit out, any of Biden stumbles, freezes,
Wait a minute. Wait, say it again. You think AI is going to delete out his, in real time?
Well, just like everybody edits stuff, that goes on the air and stuff like that. I mean, they've got ways of doing stuff, with that AI now. And I kind of think that's the reason why they brought it out, at this particular time frame. You
literally think that they're going to use AI to make Joe look better in a live debate?
Well, if there's no audience, how's anybody going to know it?
That's interesting.
So,
boy, I hope you're wrong. I don't have any reason to think that you're right.
I hope I'm not.
I don't know how you would do that. I mean, I just don't. Okay, producer Garrett, Garrett number 2 here. Do you actually think that's possible? I don't think there's any way that's going to be possible. Go ahead. See what he... Yeah, it's not advanced enough, he says. McDonald's, I just read today, McDonald's had a stupid AI thing for, they're trying to have like an unmanned McDonald's, and literally the orders were so messed up, they stopped. It's been a total unmitigated disaster. Customers were lashing out at it, and so this came out today in the Daily Mail. They're stopping it. So if AI can't even get a basic customer service with a freaking order of French fries, then I don't think they're going to be able to do anything with that. And I think it would be a massive flop and would be called out. So, and even though fake news CNN is 99% in the tank for Joe Biden over the top and hates Trump, I don't think they would participate in something of that nature. But Paul, who knows? I appreciate your call. Don't scare me like that. That's interesting. All right. By the way, did you hear about a rapper named Icewear Vezzo? Have you heard of him? Okay, he is apparently huge in Michigan, and I looked him up on Instagram to see how many followers he has, and he has like over 1 million. So that's kind of, I looked at his Twitter's only 70,000, but that's probably because he probably does a younger audience. I have no clue. But 1 million followers on Instagram, that shows you how big this guy is. That's pretty darn big. So he has comments in Detroit, and he was at a black church where Trump spoke, and he spoke very highly of Trump in the city. And Trump went to inner city Detroit on Saturday. He goes where the Joe Biden has not gone and won't go. Very interesting, isn't it? Same thing with former President Hussein Obama. He did not go there. But since he was African-American and appealed to African-Americans, and he spoke so eloquently, even though it was all lies, it worked. All right, up next, I'll play the Icewear Vezzo thing, but then I want to get into this. 10 most offensive things that you as a customer can do at a restaurant, according to a brand new survey. You're going to love this discussion. Do's and don'ts at the restaurants. And we'll hear from servers. We'll hear from you and me, things we've seen or that we've done or watched. All that next. Chris Kroc Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. All right, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. Okay, so you're about to hear from this rapper, Icewear Vezzo. Never heard of him in my life because I don't follow that stuff. You know who he is? Okay. One of my fellow colleagues here, my newsman on the program, was saying, no, he has no idea who he is. He's got 500,000 people that follow him on YouTube, and it says on a TikTok thing, it says 18.8 million views. And then, I don't know. I can't. And I don't know how to look up his official thing. It looks like it's his official thing. I don't know TikTok. I don't want to know it because it's a Chinese malware app. But anyway, just interesting. I heard some of his songs. It's the deep, deep bass. And, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, whatever. Hey, there's stuff like Biggie Smalls stuff that was really good back in the day. And some Tupac stuff, even though I'm not... these guys did some things that were really good, at least a song or two. But I think I bought Biggie's album way back when. But that was it. Here's Icewear Vezzo. I guess he's a Detroit bass rapper. And here he is at a black church in Detroit Sunday where Trump appeared and took questions and spoke. Here's what he said to Fox News. If I can turn the button on. Here we go. Wait, hold on. I guess I got to push the button again because I missed it. Funny. Old man.
I don't agree with
Start over.
I don't agree with everything about President Trump. I don't agree with 100% everything that anybody does. However, I'm not voting based off of personal feelings. I'm voting based off personal experience. I've experienced Trump as president. I've experienced Joe Biden as president. And I like the way I like Trump as president more.
All right. That's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. All right. Now, on Biden, well, I'm sorry, not on Biden, on restaurants. We're going to shift gears and have fun. Restaurants with 10 most offensive things you can possibly do at a restaurant. Brand new survey that came out. And these are people at the restaurant, people like you and I, patrons and stuff. So I will pop that out to you right away. What are the most offensive things you've seen customers do at a restaurant? And our number, of course, is 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make that a preset, by the way. Chris Kroc Show. So, flirting with the staff. 57% say that's one of the worst things, one of the most annoying or offensive things you can do. It is rude. This person, man or woman, has to serve you. And here you are trying to hit on them or something like that. It's offensive. Let the person do their job. Number 9, most offensive things that customers do at restaurants. Occupy a table for an extended period during busy hours. You know what? I don't plan on staying long, but if I go there and I'm paying, I honestly don't give a frog's fat. You know what? I don't squat. I'm not some squatter intentionally or anything, but typically, and I don't stay very long either, but all I know is that I don't think about the time and I don't care about the time. If they come to me and they ask me, hey, Mr. Kroc, we're really overloaded. Is y'all finished or anything? If they say it nicely, I'm not going to be mad about it or anything like that. I'll go, I care about respecting other people and such. But I think occupying for an extended period during business hours is relative, isn't it? And I think that restaurants can be very rude about rushing you, and it just depends on where you're at and what you're doing and what you've paid and what you're eating. Leave a mess at the table, such as spilled drinks or food crumbs. That is bad. My wife is ridiculous, though. She cleans up like almost everything at the table. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, what is this? She's like, stop it. You know, because she was a server for years on and off. So, and she likes to brag that she made more money than I did in the first, 5-10 years of the career, which is true. I don't deny it. But thankfully for the last 20 years, that's not been the case. I got more. I've got the top 7 of them. But what are the most offensive things that you've seen customers do at a restaurant? I've got some. I'll share one with you right now. When my wife was a server at a Tony Romo's in Wisconsin back in the day when we were in Madison, my second full-time talk show in my career, some kids, parents, they had a kid, he was like a toddler with a sippy cup, and they gave it to a waitress. Now, I don't think it was my wife. I think it was a waitress that was there that she worked with. They gave it to her and said, can you fill this up with soda, please? From the fountain. You know, like the soda fountain in the bar. The kid was like 2 or 3. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable doing that, but we can get you some apple juice or some milk or, water. Because she's like, I'm not going to contribute to giving your kids candy, liquid candy to rot their teeth out. Isn't that interesting? Was the server right to do that? Or was that a faux pas? I mean, you're not asking to give the kid a whiskey. And you might pee them off and insult them, and then you lost your tip. So that's an interesting one, isn't it? What's that, Producer Garrett? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So coming up next, we're going to get into the other top 7 things that are the most offensive things that you can do as a customer at a restaurant. And you can call in right now. What are the most offensive things you've seen customers do at a restaurant? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I have more things. I have something offensive that my wife did as a waitress. I'll tell you about all that next on the Chris Kroc Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. What are the most offensive things you've seen customers do at a restaurant? 800-288-WBAP. 800-288-9227. 800-288-WBAP. So far, flirt with the staff is the 10th most offensive thing. Then 9 is occupy a table for an extended period during business hours. I think that's I don't necessarily agree with that, as long as it's not like, I don't know. It depends on the situation is all I'm saying. Don't rush me unless you gently ask me and it's because it really is a thing. I don't know. I that one doesn't bother me as much. Leave a mess at the table, such as spilled drinks or food crumbs. That's a huge deal to me. But my wife also cleans up way too much because she was a server. So, but I do clean up. I don't want to leave a big mess. That's rude. I always do that and put everything on my plate, primarily because my wife has taught me to do that. So, I mean, I've never been a big slob, anyways. But and then number 7, show up 15 minutes late to a reservation. I kind of don't think you're the customer. It's okay for you to be late, not them, but within reason. All right. Sue in Weatherford, you've called in at 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. And Sue, what are some of the most offensive things you've seen customers do at a restaurant?
Well, this happened a long time ago, but I will never forget it. My husband and I were eating supper. We called it supper back in those days. Mm-hmm. And this couple with a baby came in. They were travelers. They were not local. And they got their food, and all of a sudden they moved their food around, put the baby on the table, and changed the dirty diaper.
Yes. 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 Right on the table, right where you eat. Now, do you think that's incredible? I don't know if we're going to be able to beat this one.
I think I get the gold star tonight.
You might be getting. Hold on, wait. You might be getting the home. There you go. You get a little bell ring.
There you go.
This is profound. Let's think about this for a moment. Let's kind of dissect this. So, do you think number one, you've seen people clean out the tables, right? When after somebody eats, you'll see the wait staff or somebody come out and clean up the table. Are they using bleach? Do you think when they clean that table off?
I would hope. I don't think so.
Now, if somebody works in restaurant industry or has, you can tell me. I don't think they're using bleach with it. I think that might be a concern about damaging the top or something out of the table or something. But so it's not. You wouldn't normally use bleach or need bleach to clean the table off. So what this means is you have fecal matter on the dinner table.
Yes.
While you're eating.
Yes.
What do they say? Don't crap where you eat.
I think there's a saying about that.
And don't or is it don't crap where you sleep? And don't animals, dogs, for example, some of those basic of all animals, don't they not crap where they sleep or eat? Have you ever heard of a dog or any kind of a
cage?
Have you ever heard of a?
Never,
say it again. What?
Unless they're caged.
Right. And even then, they're probably not going to crap on their food.
No.
But this person a lot wanted that. And then, so they did, but is this before they got their food or they moved? Is this while their food was on the table?
No, they moved the food around.
Yes, the food was on the table.
For the baby.
The fecal matter was inches from the food. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Wow.
My husband and I were sitting in a booth with a big old picture window.
Yeah.
And so we would try to look out the window and we would get the reflection of.
Yes, you were getting a 360 poop view.
Yes.
Front row tickets to the poop show. Wow.
Oh, it was terrible.
This was not a peep show. This was a poop show. Okay, so
my husband.
What do people say? This is an S show. They say that. You've ever heard somebody say this is an S show, like the S word. That's what this was. So okay,
That's what it was.
Okay, so what did your husband say? What did your husband say, or what did you say?
So my husband he kept saying in a louder and louder voice, "I have more couth than that."
They probably thought you were saying like couscous or something. What's it? What is that guy saying over there? What's wrong? They probably think something's wrong with you guys. Is that guy like special? Is that guy mentally special, or is he is he special needs because he keeps saying the same thing over and over again while they're wiping poopy off the kid's diaper 5 inches from their eggs? Thank you for your call. So that might top the charts here. I don't know. James and Keller, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hi, James.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Help us with this poop show. Go ahead.
Yep. Mine's very similar.
What?
We were in a restaurant, crowded, at a Chinese restaurant, and two businessmen in a loud voice, well, one of them was, and way too audible for the restaurant, was talking about how to unimpact a horse's intestines.
Bowels? Or?
Yes, by reaching up, and he was very vocal, very descriptive, and it was turning stomachs in the restaurant, so I politely excused him, interrupted him, and said, "Can you keep your voice down?" And then some people around us started applauding.
Wow, so everybody heard this?
Oh, yeah.
How long ago was this? And what part of town was this in?
It was in Fort Worth in a Chinese restaurant. Oh, wow. It was a nice restaurant. He had no clue he was that loud, and he just was thoughtless.
So he was talking about how you impact a horse's bowels.
That's correct.
So that means you got to go. That means it's stuck in there, and you got to do something to get it out.
That's correct.
And he was talking about this in detail loudly. Were they eating at the same time while they were talking about this?
That's correct.
What the heck? Oh my gosh! And then, so who? You said that to him, right?
I interrupted them and asked them to that it was inappropriate conversation for the atmosphere.
And then did he turn to it? Well, go ahead. Sorry, what?
Yeah, and he was very apologetic. He was just out in left field about that. So
wow.
He stopped and he was embarrassed, and then everybody started clapping. Golf clap.
Really? Wow. Okay. Do you now know how to help a horse if their balls are backed up? Did you actually remember to do that? Just in case, you want to share with us?
If it was an emergency, I could figure it out. Sure.
Based on the fact that you heard this whole description.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
So it wasn't an all lost opportunity. Yes.
This is good. You always got to look at it as Monty Python says. Always look at the bright side here of life. So you've learned how to do that. Can you give us? Was it medication? We have to physically go in there from behind? What?
Well, yes, it was a manual effort, not a.
Okay, so in other words, you will have to go from behind and get in there.
That's correct.
Now, another question. This is not to be grotesque because this is about science, sir. And on this show, we follow the science. By the way, are you wearing your mask with me right now where you're talking to me?
Absolutely not. I am not a believer.
You're not following the science, sir. I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide this one time. So, is it done by your hand having to go in there?
Yes, sir.
Ah! Now, I hope, and I'm sure you do too, I hope that whoever's job that is gets paid a lot of money.
That would be a vet. Yep, it's best to take it to a vet. They know what they're doing.
Well, you said you could do it yourself.
Well, in an emergency, sure.
Well, I'd like to ask you a favor, James. We do have a little situation.
Oh.
We do have, there's an animal at the Croc House who has this issue right now. Would you be willing to come over and perform the procedure?
Well, it's best done by a vet.
You could eat while you're doing it, too. We'll have some food there, okay? All right, thank you for your call. Oh, sir, I know it's best done by a vet, but it's happening right now. It's an emergency. We need you right now to come to my house. Please, sir. Now, we need some help down here. Let me say that again the right way. Now, we need some help down here. All right. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That was a great one. It reminded me of Walmart, where a lot of trashy people go to Walmart, as you know. And then there's you and me that go, but there's a lot of trashy people that go there too, a lot. And that's where I saw a guy walk up in front of me in the deodorant section, pick it off the shelf and sniff it, open it, sniff it, and then put it on his underarms and throw it back on the shelf and walk away. And then I walked later on. I was next to him. I didn't realize until I looked. I was next to him at a line for the register, and there he is with a baby and a baby mama. I'm like, that kid is literally has no chance of succeeding in this life because of that man spawning that child, that poor kid. And I actually prayed for the kid because I'm like, that kid's future there's no future. Look at this guy. Look at this trash this guy is over here. At least his behavior is trash. My gosh. Anyway, but Walmart, I have in-laws that work at Walmart, and they have for decades, one of whom was retired after like 30, 40 years there. And she's one of the originals. She has Walmart stock and everything. Good for her. But she said there's people like leaving poopy diapers in the changing rooms and all over the floors. It's just the store. They just leave poopy diapers on the floor. Wouldn't you, if you saw that, wouldn't you love, I'm not saying you should do this, but wouldn't you love to just pick it up immediately as they walk away and whip it at them and hit it in the back of the head? Pick it up! Right? I wouldn't do that. You know what I would do if I did see that, though? I'll tell you what I would do. I would just say, sir, I would be kind of loud, and they turn around, sir, you dropped something. And you know what they would do? They'd pick it up. And if they didn't, and they were like, blah, they walked away. Okay, at that point, I don't want to cause a problem here. Then I would go to the manager and say, that guy dropped a poopy diaper in. I told him he dropped it, and he said he's not picking it up. And let them handle it from there. If they pick it up and don't say anything, that's their business. So I first talk to the person in a civil way. After that, I'm not Sheriff Bob. I'm there to cause a problem. I'm not there to enforce anything. And then I go to the management, or I just tell them, and they can deal with it. If they kiss their butts, they kiss their butts. All right. What are the 10 most offensive? What are the most offensive things you've seen customers do at a restaurant? 800-288-WBAP. 800-288-9227. I've given you the top 3 or 4. I've got the last 6 next. News Talk 820 WBAP, and now. And now on FM at 93.3, make it a preset. No. Okay. What are the most offensive things you've seen customers do at a restaurant? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Here we go. Flirt with the staff is number 10. Number 9, occupy a table for an extended period during busy hours. Number 9. Then number 8 is leave a mess at the table, such as spilled drinks or food crumbs. Number 7, show up 15 minutes late at a reservation. Number 6, bring outside food or drinks into the restaurant. That is the biggest no-no you could ever do. Sometimes I'll bring my coffee in, though. Just because the coffee there is like regular, So I'll bring in my bold, manly coffee. It's like Starbucks French Roast or Starbucks Verona, like super strong. And I'll bring that in my little canteen and pour it in a glass. But then afterwards I'll get theirs. I mean, I eat whatever. Sometimes I prefer that, but I don't do that very often. I really don't bring in much. I bring in my water bottle. But that's just water. You bring in that kind of stuff. That's terrible. How about this one? Number 5, snapping their fingers to get the waiter's attention. Okay, that is a basic no-no. You don't snap your fingers at anybody unless you're joking around. Number 4, stay past the restaurant's closing time. I always say, hey, we'll sit there. My wife's like, we gotta go. I'll be like, no, there's still have people here. But I'll also ask them too, hey, do you mind? They're like, no, it's fine. You know what I mean? Well, we're kind of closing. Okay, and then we'll go. Gotta communicate. All right, I got a couple more, but let's go to Sharon and Irving. We had a big story in the last segment about a guy saying that he was sitting there eating dinner, and this guy was loudly next to them at a table next to him, out loud talking about what's the procedure called, Sharon?
The horse
is impacted
colon.
Impacted colon. That sounds like a fun thing to have. I might want to order one of those. Hi, may I have a impacted colon, please? Anyway, so they're at the dinner table, and this guy is so loud. He's explaining what his horse has an impacted colon and how you have to fix that. And at the Chinese restaurant in Fort Worth, a nice one, and people around them are all hearing this. And so this gentleman that just called in the last segment finally said, "Sir, could you please keep it down? We're trying to eat. It's pretty gross," or something. And then everybody clapped around him that he did that. So you wanted to call, Sharon, with a big follow-up on the details of what you know about this. Your horse had this situation, ma'am. Is that correct?
Yes. I found him he was out in the pasture. I found him at the bottom of a creek. He was laying on his back with his legs stuck up in the air, sort of like a cartoon, with a dead horse. But I thought he was dead, but he had that impacted colon, so I called the veterinarian. He came out and stood him up. We got him up on his feet, and then...
Did they give him any medications to make him feel numbed or something?
No. He had a tube, like a plastic tube, and he sticks the tube down the horse's nostril and then puts mineral oil down the tube so it goes into the stomach, and then that makes it all come out.
Wait a minute. How long are these tubes he sticks down the poor horse's nostrils?
Well, it goes down into the...
stomach? We're talking 5 feet? Is he stuffing 5 feet of tubing in there?
Not quite 5 feet, maybe 3 or 4 or something, but yeah, it goes way down in there.
Hold on one second. Are you listening to Horse Talk, ladies and gentlemen? This is Horse Talk with Chris Kroc. So anyway, the impacting bottle. So you put it about 3-4 feet down, right? You got it lubed up. You got some mineral oil. You put it in there.
Yeah, and it just my horse wasn't. Since he was out in the pasture, do you know the mesquite tree that has all the beans on it?
No.
Familiar? Well, the mesquite tree has these beans, and he had eaten a whole bunch of them, and it plugged them up. So
they don't have to go in from the behind there and do something?
No.
Maybe
I don't know if they have to do that some other time, but I know on my horse, yeah, they just put mineral oil down.
This would have been an appropriate conversation then for the dinner table. No. Would have been, or is that it's at least it's more pleasant than the other one.
Oh yeah,
been going in from the other behind. Sharon, thank you for that great call. I appreciate that. I'll be doing vet talk for the rest of the show tonight. The other top things I have right here, but do we have to go? Okay, I have 30 seconds. Number 4, worst thing you can do at a restaurant, stay past their closing time. Number 3, debate menu prices with the staff. Debate it? There's no debating. It is what it is. But you know what, though? No. You can always ask. But the chances are probably pretty low that you'll get any kind of a discount. But that would be kind of annoying, yeah. Allow their children to roam freely. That is unequivocally unacceptable. That is so annoying. We had that happen once at a bar, tavern, whatever we ate, sitting eating dinner, and these kids are running around. It's like, what is this crap? Number 1, they say they won't pay for a dish they didn't like, but they ate it. That's the number 1 worst thing you could do, rudest thing. Oh, that's just simple. You ate it, you have to pay for it. A lawyer was asked about this legally. Can you get a refund back? It's a Loyola University law professor from California. I'll tell you what the answer was, and that coming up next. Plus, oh gosh, we have we had our 10 p.m. tea, so we'll do that first. Is it okay for your employer to monitor you without you knowing? Secretly monitor you online, or on your, not online, but on your on your computer at work, without you knowing? Monitor it, and then can you get in trouble? Can they fire you, or is that a no-no? Is that okay? One company is doing that. We've all heard of this company. It's a major one. We'll get into that coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.